Stephen Hawking said at a Harvard conference in 2016, "What I saw inside black holes keeps me awake at night." Only 12 people in the auditorium heard this sentence. Of these 12 people, 3 died in mysterious accidents, 4 disappeared without a trace. The remaining 5 have kept silent to this day. So what did Hawking see inside black holes? And why was this discovery so dangerous? Tonight, I'm live with Professor Dr. Marcus Chen, Nobel Prize-winner in physics, and the only person who has gained access to Cambridge University's secret archives. Chen is the brave scientist who knows what Hawking experienced in his final years and decided to solve this mystery. But first, a warning. After watching this broadcast, your nights will never be the same. Professor Chen leaned into the microphone and took a deep breath. His eyes carried the weight of a 30-year scientific career, but tonight's revelations would make all his experience seem pale in comparison. "When I worked with Stephen in 2015, he said, his voice trembling, he was no longer the Hawking I knew. Constantly anxious, restless, he would spend hours in the laboratory at night, diving into black hole calculations. But the strangest thing was that he no longer wanted to talk." According to Chen's account, until 2014, Hawking had an excited and optimistic approach to black holes. He was analyzing the first data from the Event Horizon Telescope, thinking he was close to solving the secrets of black hole physics, until that night when he encountered something surprising in his calculations. "When we found Stephen in his laboratory in April 2015, he was crying," Chen continued. "He had said he only cried 3 times in his life. That day was the 3rd time. The calculations on his desk were about the internal structure of black holes. But these calculations, they weren't normal." So what was in those calculations? And why was the world's greatest theoretical physicist so shaken? Chen spread documents he had retrieved from Cambridge University's secret archives on the table, and we noticed his hands were shaking. These documents covered the final period of Hawking's black hole research. "Stephen was working on singularities at the center of black holes," Chen said. "As we know, singularity is the point where the laws of physics collapse. But what Stephen discovered was that singularities weren't actually empty points. They were a kind of door." On a page he pulled from the documents written in Hawking's handwriting were these lines: "Singularity equals portal. Time and space don't end here. They open to somewhere else. But that place is not the universe we know." Chen's voice grew increasingly tense. Stephen had discovered that matter falling into black holes wasn't being destroyed. That matter was passing into another dimension, and from this dimension, something was coming back. This explanation brought deep silence to the studio. Chen continued to explain why Hawking's discovery had shaken him so much. Black holes weren't just cosmic vacuum cleaners that swallow matter. They were gateway portals between our universe and another dimension. And Stephen had calculated what this other dimension was. So what had Hawking discovered in this other dimension? Chen told how Hawking made another surprising discovery in late 2015. While analyzing data from the Event Horizon Telescope, he had detected strange patterns in radiation emanating from the edges of black holes. "These patterns weren't random," Chen said, fear glinting in his eyes. "They were a kind of message." When Stephen managed to decipher this radiation, what he discovered deeply shook him, because those sending the messages were beings of the same kind as us. In Hawking's secret notes were these lines: "Signals from parallel universe. They're advanced like us, but something has frightened them. They constantly send warnings. Don't approach black holes. They'll take you too." According to Chen's account, after Hawking deciphered these messages, he'd completely changed. He no longer wanted to continue black hole research. In fact, after his sentence, "What I saw inside black holes keeps me awake at night," at that 2016 Harvard conference, he never spoke about this topic again. But Stephen's greatest fear, Chen added, was what these beings from the parallel universe wanted from us. Because at the end of the messages, there was always this sentence: "They are coming. Prepare." Who was coming, and why was Hawking so frightened? At this point, Chen made the most shocking revelation. He said that Hawking had established a secret laboratory beneath his office at Cambridge that no one knew about. Stephen was conducting secret experiments in this laboratory from 2016 onwards, Chen said. He was trying to create small-scale black holes. His goal was to establish direct communication with the parallel universe, but the results were catastrophic. According to Chen's account, Hawking had succeeded in creating a small-scale black hole. But after this black hole lived for only a few seconds, it swallowed the surrounding material and disappeared. However, before disappearing, all equipment in the laboratory had started receiving strange signals. These signals were audio recordings of beings from the parallel universe, Chen said, his voice trembling. And in these recordings, there were screaming voices, as if they were in panic facing a great danger. When Stephen heard these recordings, he nearly went insane. In Hawking's secret notes were these lines, "My God, what have I done? I woke them up. Now they've noticed us. Our discovery of black holes was like giving them our coordinates. They're coming." Who was coming? And why was Hawking's discovery so dangerous? Chen now came to the darkest part of the story. He told who the 12 people who heard Hawking say, "What I saw inside black holes keeps me awake at night," at the 2016 Harvard conference were, and what happened to them. These 12 people were theoretical physicists from the world's most prestigious universities, Chen said. After Hawking's statement, they all began researching this topic, and they disappeared one by one. The first to disappear was Dr. Sarah Mitchell. This brilliant physicist working at MIT had decided to deepen her black hole research after the conference, but a month later, she was found dead in her laboratory. According to the official statement, she had suffered a heart attack, but on the notes on her desk was written this line, "They're here. They're finding me." The second victim was Professor James Richardson from Oxford. It was announced that he died in a car accident, but his car had no brake marks. As if the vehicle had suddenly stopped, his last message on his phone read, "Black holes are calling tonight. I shouldn't answer." The third disappearance was the most mysterious. Dr. Maria Santos from Caltech was never seen again after leaving her home. Security cameras showed her looking completely normal as she left her house, but she vanished on the street, as if she had vanished into thin air. And it continued like this, Chen said, his voice filled with desperation. Of the 12 people, 3 died, 4 disappeared. The remaining 5 listened to Stephen's warning and abandoned their research, but they're still afraid. Chen described the paranoia Hawking experienced in his final years. From 2017 onwards, he had begun to constantly feel that he was being followed. Stephen said he heard strange sounds in the laboratory at midnight, Chen said. Metallic clanging, whispers. Security cameras showed nothing, but Stephen insisted. He constantly said, "They're here." During this period, Hawking had stopped all black hole research. He even considered retracting his previous publications. He constantly gave the same warning to his assistants. Don't research anything about black holes. Don't approach this subject. But the strangest thing, Chen added, was what Stephen wrote in his final notes. Time is narrowing. They're approaching. Humanity isn't ready. Maybe it never will be. When Hawking died in March 2018, his last note in his room was this sentence, "Black holes are doors. The door has opened. It's too late now." At this point, Chen revealed the most shocking evidence, an audio recording that Hawking had made before his death, which he had never told anyone about. This recording is Stephen's last message, recorded just 3 days before his death, Chen said. Only I and one assistant know of this recording's existence. In the audio recording, Hawking's weak but determined voice could be heard. If you're listening to this recording, it means I'm no longer alive. I want to give you my final warning. What I learned about black holes poses great danger to humanity's future. They're not just cosmic objects that swallow matter. They are doors between our dimension and another universe. And the beings from this other universe are now aware of our existence. The recording continued. These beings experienced a great catastrophe in their own universe, and they see our universe as their new home. Our black hole research gave them our coordinates. Now they know our way. The final sentence was the most terrifying. The first signs will begin soon. Stars near black holes will suddenly start going out. When you understand that, it will be too late. Chen said that Hawking's warning was not empty, that some signs had begun in the present day. In the last 2 years, we've been observing strange activities around the supermassive black hole at the center of our Milky Way galaxy, Chen said. Some stars are suddenly losing their brightness. NASA can't explain this situation. According to Chen's account, the latest observations from the Event Horizon Telescope were also worrying. Radiation emanating from the edges of black holes had begun showing those strange patterns that Hawking discovered. And the most frightening thing, Chen added, is that the parallel universe messages are changing. They no longer say, "They are coming." Now they say, "We have arrived." Chen said that observatories worldwide were secretly monitoring these signals, but keeping them hidden from the public. Because if this truth comes out, there will be worldwide panic. But Stephen was right. There's no point in hiding it anymore. As Chen reached the end of the broadcast, he conveyed Hawking's final message. Stephen's last wish was this: if this truth ever comes out, humanity must unite. In the face of this threat, countries, ideologies, religions don't matter. There's only the struggle to survive as a single species. According to Chen's account, before dying, Hawking had also developed a theoretical solution that could fight this threat. But this solution required all of humanity to cooperate. Closing black holes is possible, Chen said, but the energy required for this equals the energy produced by all nuclear power plants on Earth for 100 years. And we need to do this, all at the same time. Chen addressed viewers directly at the end of the broadcast. Take Stephen's warning seriously. Look at the night sky. If stars start going out, it means time is narrowing. Then there will be no point in keeping this secret anymore. After the broadcast ended, Chen's final words still echoed in my ears. Stephen said one more thing before he died. Even my death won't stop them, but maybe it can awaken humanity. That night, as I returned home, I looked at the sky. The stars were still shining. But if I had known the truth that Hawking discovered, maybe I wouldn't have been so comfortable. Because this story is just a beginning. If Hawking's warning is real, we're facing the greatest test in human history, and we can't afford to fail this test.